this is Staten Island Museum, one of the meeting places of Peace Action of Staten Island, and Peace Action of Staten Island is one of the sponsoring organizations for Ethan McCord today, along with World Can't Wait, Peace Action New York State, and the We're Not Your Soldiers. So this is a coalition of groups coming together to bring a very important voice here to speak to us individually. Staten Islanders actually feel like some of us feel like we know Ethan. He doesn't know this, but we had a meeting a couple of months ago, and we saw the collateral murder video that was released by WikiLeaks, and the people in our Peace Action chapter here were so moved by it that they took up a collection to help Ethan with his issues, and also voted to buy as many copies as we could of the DVD, and we mailed it to 100 of our members. We couldn't, and distributed as many as we could so that people could show it in their homes, in their classrooms, at their faith groups, because we felt it was a real important video to get the word out. It shows war, modern war, in a way that very few of us really have experienced or know anything about, and it's shocking. And we put in our letter that we wanted to warn people ahead of time that who saw it, because it could be really very shocking to children. So we put that caveat out there, but we think it's really important for as many people to see. So with that, I want to turn the event over to Elaine. Maybe we'll switch cameras. But before I do that, there's a letter back there with some of the upcoming events in Staten Island. And if you are on Staten Island, I just met some neighbors that live around the corner from me. We have a meeting coming up on Saturday, May 15th, right here. And we do a potluck meeting. And Jim Clune, who recently came back from Israel and Palestine, is going to show his slides and talk about his experience. And he's a peace activist from Binghamton, New York. And my husband saw his presentation, and it was excellent. Yeah, he saw it in White Plains in February. So I want to recommend that, if you're available and you can come back here on May 14th, we'd love to have you. So I'd like to introduce Elaine Brower, who's on the board of Peace Action New York State, very involved with many other groups besides, but we're very proud to have her on our board.
Okay, so just hold that.
Welcome, everyone. Come out on this rainy day, and at least we're inside in this great museum. Today, I'm just going to give you an overview of who I am and what we're doing here. You probably all came because of the flyer, or maybe you heard it on BAI. We were lucky enough to have a PSA run for over a week. So basically, my name is Elaine Brower, and I'm a member of Peace Action Staten Island and World Can't Wait. And I work on the We Are Not Your Soldiers tour. And what that is we try to bring Iraq and Afghanistan veterans into the high schools to speak to the students, as well as Vietnam-era war veterans who have suffered over 40 years. And myself, I talk about my son, who did 3 combat tours in the Marine Corps, and he spent a year in Afghanistan and 2 years in Iraq. Thank God he's home now, but he, as all veterans, he suffers from a myriad amount of problems. So we take this tour into the schools, and we also go, like today, Ethan is here, and he has gone into high schools and talked to the students, which he really enjoys doing. And a lot of the veterans, the young veterans, enjoy doing it once they get in front of a classroom, because the children today really don't, or the youth today, don't understand what's happening. They don't get news. They don't get it on television. They don't get it in the newspapers. So we bring them the truth. This isn't a typical counter-recruitment tactic. When we go in there, we give them information that opens their eyes to what the military is asking them to sign up for, and what the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now we've expanded into North Africa, what the drone bombings really mean and who gets killed, and how they will be part of this whole war machine that is for empire. And that's pretty much what the tour is. You could go to our website, wearenotyoursoldiers.org, and take a look at some of the video footage we have up there. And it's a project of World Can't Wait. World Can't Wait has several different projects that we work on. One is War Criminals Watch also. So Ethan is here today, all the way from Kansas, and I know you came here to hear him. What Ethan, this is sort of a real mosaic of events. How can I start this? The WikiLeaks video was, the collateral murder video was released through WikiLeaks through allegedly Private First Class Bradley Manning, who gave over documents as well as this particular video and others to the website WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. I think probably everyone here knows that situation. When that video finally got released in April of 2010, Ethan happened to see it. And Ethan had been living with the events of that day since it had happened in 2007. And when he saw that it had been published, he came to terms with the fact that he had to speak out. He was trying to speak out prior to that, but no one was listening until the actual video was released. And that video sort of got the ball rolling when it came to enlightening people. More people, even in the mass media, in the corporate media, started to realize there's something wrong with what we're doing. And we're going to show you that video today. It's about a 16-minute clip, and Ethan's narrating that particular video. So what from there, we had WikiLeaks release all this information. We had Ethan now trying to speak out. So we contacted Ethan, and we tried to give him a platform to speak on, as well as other organizations. And there's Josh Stieber, who actually came to Staten Island twice to talk about the events of that day, and plus how he became a conscientious objector. He was part of the 216 Army unit that was on the ground. And so it sort of all kind of fits into this puzzle of what we're actually doing in foreign countries and what the military is training our young men and women to participate in. And I know because my son was and is part of it. So I'd also like to mention that we have Bradley Manning buttons and t-shirts for sale. We're trying to raise money for his defense. They've raised Courage to Resist and the Bradley Manning Support Network, and I'd like to welcome Kevin Zeese, who's part of that network, who will speak a little bit about Bradley Manning, the current situation he's in, how he got there, the monies that we need to raise. They've raised about $200,000 for attorney's fees, and Bradley Manning's been locked up in pretrial detention for almost a year now. He was in Quantico, and they just moved him to Leavenworth. So I'll let Kevin speak to that. So that's kind of what we're going to be covering here today. The first thing I do want to do is show you the collateral murder video, and then Ethan's going to come up and talk about the details of that. And then one other thing I forgot to mention, part of this whole mosaic is the film that is being premiered this Sunday at the Tribeca Film Festival called Incident in New Baghdad. And that is featuring Ethan, his story, where he came from and how he got to where he is today. as not only a resistor but a whistleblower. And we're going to show you a trailer of that at some point after Ethan speaks or during when he speaks. And so we have several different things to do today. So I'm going to put that on, and this way you'll have a little bit of background about what Ethan experienced and how we're going to discuss it. Well, Richie's going to put it on.